All right, Michelle, so I'm one of those folks who read the first book and then basically dropped out of life to read the second two books of the Hunger Game trilogy right away. The first book is being turned into a movie, comes out the end of March. Why are expectations so high for this movie and for Lionsgate?
The expectations are high because this is one of the bigger film projects that Lionsgate has taken on. It has a much higher budget than a lot of what they've traditionally done in their first big, huge YA series. Plus, everybody in Hollywood is looking for the next Twilight. Everyone, after that series ends later this year, everyone kind of wants to continue on this trend.
And the Hunger Games starring a female heroine, Katniss Everdeen. Katniss Everdeen is put into a sort of American Idol type competition with a bunch of other children where they basically have to fight to the death. It is a dark or darkish subject matter. Do they think that this subject matter could actually possibly hurt its chances at the box office, that it might be just too dark? Or we've seen characters we care about in the Harry Potter series, so maybe we're accustomed to that now?
I think it's just all kind of in the execution. We're going to have to see how
she could pick up the phone. Hear you in 2 seconds. She's coming back to us, talking to us about the Hunger Games. Have we got you back now?
Yeah.
Yep, great. So just continue what you were saying of whether this subject matter is too dark.
I think it all depends in the execution. It's the sort of thing where when you read about it, it does seem a bit dark, but could be done really well in a film.
I think one of the big questions here is how much crossover will there be to a male audience? This does star a female heroine, although there are other very strong male characters in the movie. I know a lot of guys, here in the office who are reading The Hunger Games. My father loved The Hunger Games. Do they think it will have a bigger crossover to a male audience than Twilight did?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, if you look at the theme of Twilight, it's kind of like teenagers who are falling in love for the first time and and that is the crux of what that story is. Whereas this is much more about much stronger characters who need to fight for survival. And the original book that it's based on, the author was thinking of, reality series and real life war. So there are all these themes that are much more attractive to a larger audience.
And obviously they've been pushing sales of the Hunger Game books pretty heavily to try and drum up audience interest for this coming film, which I get. What is the date it comes out in March?
The 23rd.
The 23rd. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have a success on their hands. There have been failed attempts at these same types of films in the same genre, like the Golden Compass, that trilogy, correct?
Right. It's the sort of thing where Hollywood has always been optioning, popular children's series. It's just kind of what they do because they all want to bank on these franchises in case they take off. And naturally, some do and some don't, and some just have larger expectations placed on them.